Let me tell you about the dark truth when it comes to amateur boxing. People see the wins, the highlights, the trophies, but they don't know what amateur boxing actually takes away from you. And in this video, I'm going to expose that dark truth because it almost broke me. I was sacrificing everything for the sport and I was getting nothing in return. My health was on the line. When you're an amateur boxer, you have to cut weight, but you don't cut weight like you're in the pros. You have to stay at your fight weight the whole season. It's not like professional boxing where you got a fight, you got a camp, you got your nutritionist. It's extremely difficult to maintain a weight that is not natural the whole season. And do you think that's healthy? Of course it isn't. And that's why so many people, their bodies actually break down from boxing, from amateur boxing before they even get to the professional ranks. And even if you don't keep your weight the whole season, your coach calls you saying, oh, there's a fight on the weekend, you have to fight, and now you only got a couple days to lose the weight. This happened to me so many times, having to lose 5 kgs in about 2-3 days. And how do you think you're gonna do it? You're not gonna do it in the right way. You're gonna do it in an extreme way just so you can get that weight off, just so you can weigh in. And this is not something that's sustainable, and this is not what the human body is made for, to be losing weight and putting on weight that quickly. It's not good for your health. I had to call one of my clients the other day. He's a professional boxer and he had a brain scan which meant that he can't actually box anymore, which is quite sad. And he's a professional. He's getting brain scans, he's got all of these equipment, etc. that's looking after him, and he's still suffering with his health. So imagine you as an amateur, and by the time you get to the pro scenes, you're beaten up. My time, that was also gone as well. Like, everybody knows that when you're boxing, even as an amateur, you have to treat it like you're a professional. So that means you have to treat it like a full-time job and not get paid a penny. So you're literally spending all of this time inside the boxing gym, and where's the rest of the time to make money, spend it with your family, do other things that you need to do? That time is not there. So this is one of the most difficult things about amateur boxing. And this is why so many amateur boxers are broke and they don't have money. I actually had a stable job at one point. Alhamdulillah, I remember I got a traffic management job. So I was working on the traffic lights, and it was actually an okay job. I did a course, I got because I was struggling for a long time. I was struggling to get a good job. But because my boxing gym was so far away from where I had to work, I had to pick one or the other. And I decided to pick, obviously, amateur boxing. And then for the rest of my amateur career, until I built my personal brand, I was literally jumping from job to job, Amazon shifts. I was a lifeguard at one point. I worked in a coffee shop. I'm not going to mention their name because they're boycotted now. It was very difficult. And this is the dark truth about amateur boxing. And even with my client, one thing I tell you guys, imagine you lose your health inside the ring or even outside the ring and you've got no backup plan. So that's why it's important to build up your personal brand. I built up my personal brand as an amateur because I saw this and I was struggling. Like, honestly, mentally I was struggling as an amateur boxer because yes, you can win fights. Yes, you can be one of the best in London or whatever, the best in London, the best in the UK. But when you got no bread, it's difficult, especially when you got family. I'm going to get into some family stuff in a moment, especially when you got family that are relying on you, etc. Responsibilities, it's difficult. And that's why building up your personal brand is important, because at least if something does go wrong or you decide to go left or right, you have that option. A lot of amateur boxers don't have the option. Whereas this client now, he's actually working with me to build up his personal brand. So now we're going to be able to shift into another direction, which is good. And that's what I wanted to do as well with amateur boxers. I wanted to help you guys. That's why I've created this program, Paid Like a Pro, that helps you guys get paid like a pro without even having to sign a pro contract. Then apply down below to join the program. I'm going to be working extra hard to get you guys the results that you deserve, because I literally changed my life from applying these things. And I want your life to change as well. The more you wait, the higher the demand and the higher the price, so the harder it's going to be to join. Time to get paid like a pro. Let's lock in. And this is the part about amateur boxing that people don't talk about, is that it's not just you that suffers, it's your family, because you're chasing a dream that may or may not pull off. And of course, when you're training for something, especially like something like boxing, you want to have that mindset that this is 100% going to work. Like, if you just hope it's going to work, that's not going to happen. Especially when the landscape of boxing was changing, I saw that influencers were getting paid more than a lot of professionals. And I actually saw that a lot of professionals were not getting paid. There was a guy that was sparring, he's a pro. I went down to his gym and I see he was coming back from work. I said, bro, I said, bro, why are you working? He said, got to pay the bills. I was like, what? You know, you're a pro though, right? You've had a few fights now. He said, yeah, but even like, I think he's had, I don't know, between 5 and 10 fights, and he still wasn't getting paid enough to not work a job, but he's a professional fighter. And that made me realize that, bro, you need to actually take matters into your own hands and get paid from the sport that you're doing every single day. And that's when I started building up my brand, monetizing my skills, and alhamdulillah, obviously I don't work a job anymore. I was able to quit my job as an amateur, and I was able to actually win the Londons just because I wasn't working. Because if I was working while boxing as an amateur, it would have been hard to win the Londons. I was jumping from job to job. It was too difficult, too stressful. But because I built up my brand, I was essentially monetizing my skill and content creating while I was boxing, which was quite easy to do. It was easy, like I was able to win because I can train as much as I wanted and I can do things on my terms. And this is like a sad thing about boxing, man, is that so many amateurs, like they literally give their lives to the gyms. And it's so sad because the coaches in the boxing gyms, they expect you to treat it as if you're getting paid by them. When in reality, you pay your membership to train at the gym. So, but they feel like that you owe them. Like, you don't owe them nothing. Of course, if you're training, like, take it seriously. I'm not telling you guys to not take it seriously if you're a boxer, but I just want you guys to think about what happens if it doesn't work out. And also, what happens when you do turn professional. A lot of people think that turning professional is, yeah, that's it. I've turned professional now, everything's over. This is where the real game starts now. And that's why building up your brand from before you even turn pro is the best thing you can do, because you can either turn professional and make more money, have more opportunities, or you can decide to pivot into something else like what I've done. So I'm not a professional now, but I'm still making as much money, if more money than I would have been making if I was professional. And it's sad, man, like there's literally a GB boxer that I know, and he messaged me the other day asking me, bro, can you help me get sponsors? He's a professional now, he was boxing for GB because he's struggling to get sponsors. This guy was way better than me as a boxer, like no better, like he was a GB boxer for like the majority of his latter amateur career. Professional now and he's struggling. Training harder is not going to help your financial situation, even when you turn professional. And that's just me being real. Like in life here, there's situations that happen and you want to try and create your path. You want to try and orchestrate your future to some extent. Of course, qadar Allah, everything's in Allah's hands, but you take the means. And you just sitting around thinking that things are going to change or thinking things are going to get better is silly. I actually went through the trenches as an amateur. There's a story here that I don't think I've told everyone. I think I mentioned it before, how I used to drive an Astra and it was quite run down and the bumper used to fall off. I got trials for GB. I remember I fought in the Nationals. I lost, but because I performed so well, a lot of people thought I won. I actually got scouted for GB from that fight. So I was like, yeah, I got these GB trials now, but I've got to go to Sheffield. But my bumper on my car is rubbed out, so I can't. I'm thinking, how am I going to drive there? I hadn't booked my tickets for my train, so now it's too last minute. So me and my friend, we took my bumper off completely and I got a PlayStation wire and wallahi, I'm not lying about this. I can even put it on the screen. I got a PlayStation wire and an iPhone wire and I tied my bumper. Tied it tight with the PlayStation and iPhone wire. I did the right side, my friend did the left side, and we just pushed the bumper back on. We clipped it back on, then we tied it again from the outside, boom. And I drove all the way to Sheffield, which is about 4 hours to 4.5 hours. And I was in the slow lane, like I was just in the slow lane the whole time, just driving, because if I drove too fast, I was scared I was gonna fly off. And that's how serious I was about the sport. I would do anything. I was suffering in the process. My family was suffering as well in the process. And it wasn't fair on myself, first and foremost, and it wasn't fair on my family because I was doing all of this and I didn't even get picked. I'm not gonna lie. And I feel like the first trial, because there was 2 trials, the first trial I did okay. The second trial I dominated. And I sparred my weight, I sparred the weight below, I sparred the weight above. And of course, like I'm not saying here I'm the best and they should have picked me, but it's just to show that I've done all of that and I didn't get nothing back from it. Yeah, I got to go box in the GB trials. It was lit, but I didn't get nothing from it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't make no money from it. They didn't pay me for it. Nothing, bro. Like nothing. Honestly, and this is the thing about amateur boxing. Amateur boxing is not easy. A lot of people think that, oh yeah, because you're an amateur, it's easy. You're training like a professional, really and truly. It's just that you're doing 3 rounds, whereas professionals are doing more, but you're doing 3 rounds that are intense because it's almost a different sport. It's like amateur boxing is a sprint, whereas pro boxing is a marathon. Pro boxer won't be able to beat an amateur in an amateur fight because they're going to get blitzed in 3 rounds. Maybe when they go to 4, 5 and 6 rounds, yeah, they're going to get to them. You've got to take it seriously, and obviously the weight cutting is crazy. The time that you're spent, like, and you're sleep deprived, you're moody all the time, like it's crazy. You haven't got any time to make money. You need to build up your brand, man. And I say this out of genuine care because I see like 90%, 95, 99% of the boxers that are in the gym don't usually end up taking it to the top. So if you just go off percentages, if you just train and that's all you've gained from years of training, you've lost out on a lot of time. Thankfully, like I actually built up a brand from training, so I didn't actually lose out on those 10 years of training because now I've got a massive brand, over 100,000 followers. I've made money in the process, and now I've got something that's gonna last with me forever, inshallah. or as long as I decide to stay online. I've easily transitioned, I've easily pivoted away from boxing, where I'm teaching now people how to build up their personal brands. And you guys want to have the same thing. You guys want to either learn how to make money as while you're boxing, while you're training, or have something that you can make money from after you're boxing. Or if you decide to turn professional, now you've got a massive platform, and then sponsors are going to be chasing after you, promoters are going to be begging for you, etc. You have more of a powerful position, because turning professional doesn't fix everything. So once again, I help people do this. And I tell you, my clients are literally getting results. One of my amateur boxer clients, he hasn't even had his first fight. He was able to get a sponsor. I'm working with a graphic designer. He's not even a boxer, and he's made thousands of pounds, and he's closed over 10K in deals in only a few weeks of working with me. And this is just some of the stuff I'm talking about. Another one of my clients, Brady, he's hit over 15,000 followers now, just from working with me. So I literally help people do this because I know it's a big problem, and it helped me. As you guys can see, it actually helped me. And I became the most well-known amateur boxer in the UK in only 1 year, just of locking in. And obviously I was able to make money. For my first course alone, I was able to make 40K, not my second or my third or my fourth course, my first one, the original chess boxing 101. And this is when I hadn't polished everything, I hadn't refined everything. So the opportunities are limitless. Get on it, man, because you're training hard. You think that turning pro is gonna change everything, is gonna save you. It's actually not. And you're putting in so much work. You're literally giving everything to the sport. Get something back from it, man. Honestly, build up your brand, man. The dark truth about amateur boxing, it's a brutal sport. Not just brutal inside the ring, it can be more vicious outside of the ring. And I've seen it destroy people, man. It almost destroyed me. I was depressed for a lot of my times of boxing, man, because you get nothing from it. Even one of my close friends that's professional, I'll just end on this. And he said to me, after his first fight, he was just mad depressed. I said, why? He said, because I got the knockout. I thought I did everything right. I sold out my tickets and nothing changed. My life hadn't changed 1%. Sponsors didn't shout me. I didn't get the recognition I thought I was gonna get. I wasn't making any real money, especially once you pay everyone, and obviously it's your first fight. And he said my life hadn't changed 1%, but I did everything correctly. And that's crazy. And for me, that hit me hard. I said, wow, that's deep, bro. And yeah, man, and I'm gonna be helping him with his brand soon as well, because me and him are gonna be locking in as well. So scared, man. But yeah, I hope you guys found some benefit from this video, and it was a nice little insight. Share my story with you guys. Let's get, man. Let's get. See you guys in the next one. Wait list is down below. Don't wait, man. Look in, change your life. Let's go.